Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for today. We're coming from the test server again. This is the first raid, Fellowship of the Arcane. This is going to be a regular run again, just because they're constantly updating Elite. As I said in the previous video, Jack Frost and Milbarge have been really good on the feedback this time, trying to tune Elite. It's not where it should be yet. It's getting close. The first boss that you're eventually going to see here in this raid was updated for Elite. It's getting there. The last boss, they had a bunch of changes that didn't make it out yet. So the reason why I don't want to show Elite is just because if I show you Elite, it'll change the next time there's a hotfix. So there's not much point in showing you or giving the impression of difficulty with it, but it's getting there. The event and regular versions aren't going to really change. That's not where the feedback is focused. Regular is super easy. Event, I'm sure, is even easier. As you can see here, no surprise. There's no deaths in this run except me. I think I died once. I can't remember when. Oh yeah, I was in the ads. We'll get to that part. But yeah, like no one died. You don't need two healers. So regular is really easy, but not like me personally. I don't care if event and regular is easy. There are mechanics there. People have to learn for Elite, and as long as the Elite isn't hard, or as long as Elite is hard, that's what matters. Or not even hard, just like presents a challenge. So essentially, with this raid here, it actually is a really nice looking raid. It's definitely some nice raid design. That you saw in the live stream preview as well. So it's basically, what was it called? Like the Mystery House or something like that? I can't remember. It's some library. I'm not really up on my DC Comics or the John Constantine side. But essentially, what this is the first part of this raid is a similar concept to that of the Labyrinth raid, where you're going to have lots of little rooms. You have to do the objectives in them to be able to pass. And if you don't pass them, then you're basically stuck. So the issue off the bat with this is going to be certainly how you pug it, because there's definitely going to be pugs that are going to, kind of grief the mechanics or screw it up or not use it or not want to use it or just ignore them. And that becomes an issue because obviously you can't pass it. So the other thing I'll mention as well, there are different rooms. Like it's not the same each time. You're going to have different rooms, different ways of completing it. I'm not sure entirely how many rooms there are. Trying to think, in this video there was 3 or 4 rooms, and I know for sure there's other rooms because I've seen them in other previous attempts. So there might be maybe like 5 or 6, 5 to 7, I'd say, different rooms or different combinations that you can get, all with like similar like mechanics. There's some that are like straight easy where you just kill stuff and then the crime Bible appears and you just turn the cog. There's other ones that are much more intricate. There's definitely one that's going to be an issue, I think, with pugs. You don't see it here, but it's a really neat one. Basically, the video shows a cutscene, and in the cutscene there's a bunch of base items, and basically they'll glow, and there's like a memory game. So basically you have to turn them in the right order that was in the cutscene. So if the cutscene was like painting, clock, piano, record player, you have to go in that order. And if you do like clock, record player, then it resets, which would be kind of obviously annoying. It does. I know for sure in regular you can fail like 3 or 4 times and the game just takes pity on you and bypasses it, so you're not completely stuck in Elite. I can't remember if you have to pass or not, but it's like 2 levels. Like the first cutscene is 3 items and the second cutscene is 4 items. So if you screw up both, the game will take pity on you and then basically auto pass it for you, which in Elite it shouldn't do that. But other than that, there's not too many other rooms that you can grief. There's one that you have to, I'm trying to think here. We did get one of the annoying ones where basically the ads are invulnerable unless you basically run the objective, so you're just DPSing, forever. There's another one like that as well where you have to kind of turn cogs on the side, and if you don't, then the ads just stay there. So I've been in groups where I just kind of stand around and watch them because I know what the objective is, but I'm wanting to see if they kind of pick it up, and that comes to the issue with test server. Test server, I would like to not think is a good example of the game population. If it is, then that's pretty scary because I've gone on test and basically just sat and watched them, and like you'll see later in this video as well. It's like, well, like if this is test server, you've never seen the raids before. How can you just like, oh, there's an ad, kill it? It's like a dog chasing a car. It's like, oh my god, car. It's like, ad, have to kill it. And like they don't like look around to what they have to do. Like it's a brand new raid. Obviously you have no idea what's going on. So it's like, well, I'll just kill the ads first and then see what happens. So it's like, that doesn't always work. It's look around for mechanics. You can see right there, like sometimes the text is right there on the right hand side what to do, and they just ignore it. So that's my pet peeve with test server. That's why you can't always get things done, especially when you take these types of players into elite content where like they can't follow simple mechanics, they can't block, they can't roll. It's just like, come on, like how can I test elite content with these people? It's like, fortunately this time I've had the elite plats helping me. They've been great. They've been focused on feedback, which is always a positive because you don't always see that. And especially with the Atlantis raids. The Atlantis raids, I didn't even touch elite on test. No one even ran it or even tried past the first boss. With Titans, I tried machine elite with a group. That got to be difficult, which was difficult on live anyway. And I don't think we tried Hive Elite on test, or at least I didn't. I think some other groups might have, but I was just testing regular and all the open world stuff. So it's certainly difficult to get a groups for Elite on test. But this time around, that's completely different. We've got Platts is running pretty much every time there's a hotfix, they jump on and do it nightly, which is great. So I think this DLC is going to be our best chance to have an overall increase in Elite Challenge. Like I'm not, like none of us are trying to make it where like it's impossible, we're not going to beat it. We're just making it so it's a challenge. Like Throny you could sleepwalk through, Panny you could sleepwalk through, Escapee you could sleepwalk through. Hive and Machine were great when they came out, and then the community cried and they got nerfed. Every single hotfix they went down in difficulty. It's just like, how do you expect a DLC to last like 4 to 6 months when it's easy after like the first few weeks? Like I know that's not easy for everyone, but it's like, the end game players, which is still, people think it's just 1% of the population, but it's really not. Like I know you can't see the census anymore, but there's still plenty of people at max CR after the first couple weeks, which obviously means they're doing replays, they're doing full renown, stuff like that. This part here, you'll see me die. Basically what this is there's certain paths you have to take to get to the end and basically turn the cog to start the cutscene for the first boss. You have these little iBots, which is basically that blue aura. If they look at you, you basically die. I think it's like the mechanic from HOH with the dog, with Cerberus. So basically if the eye sees you, you die. You can basically go slowly through it, kill the ads, and walk slowly through it. That's probably going to add like 5 minutes to your raid. It's much easier just to run straight through. There is, like what I was trying to do was, when you turn the cog, sometimes you can run straight down the hallway and up it. If there's not an eye there, you could turn the cog right away. So this cutscene would take like, 30 seconds to get to the first boss. If you screw it up, or if there's an eye in the way, then you gotta wait, then the ads could kill you. So it's really up to you and your group what you want to do. You can try to race through it and get to the end. That is possible, as long as you can survive getting hit by a couple ads or waiting, or you can kind of kill the ads, slowly wait for the eyes to go by, and then turn the cog. But it's sort of like a maze. It is pretty much a maze, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So basically this is the first boss here, Subjugated Dr. Fate. We just fight Dr. Fate. He has some ads come out. The main aspect of this fight, when we started here, yeah, so basically the fight starts. You'll notice that we can damage Dr. Fate, but he's not going to take any damage. While I don't necessarily agree with that, because it's just kind of scorecard chasing, because you can't kill Dr. Fate, but he takes full damage instead of like 1 damage or 0 damage. But whatever, that's just my little pet peeve there. But as you can see in a moment, there's going to be some objectives come up. We'll see here. But basically, yeah, you're going to see these illusionary bats spawn. I think there's another set of ads that spawn as well. Essentially, that's pretty much the only thing you can kill during the fight. So we can talk about Dr. Fate mechanics first here. So basically, he's going to teleport to a bunch of different people. Usually it's about 3 times. They do damage. With 2 healers, you probably wouldn't notice the damage. You can kind of see in the combat log here. But let's skip that here, because well, the first part of this was, as you can see here on the right hand side, says find and deliver Unbinding Spellbook to Zatanna. There has to be a DPS that runs this. As you can see, everyone at the beginning didn't do it. They just kind of sat around and kept DPSing like I said they would. So a DPS has to run this objective, because you're not going to be in the fight long enough, because you're going to constantly have to get books. I went back into it just because I wanted to kill the ads, but you can technically go right to room to room to room to save time. but a DPS has to do this because you obviously can't tank. A tank can't do it. You can't have a controller missing for the first 4 minutes of the fight. Same thing with a healer. Like maybe a backup healer could do it, but ideally it's going to be a DPS because there's going to be 3 or 4 of you. So basically, all you're doing is running to the rooms, navigating through the eyes, running to his antenna, turning the scroll, and then you've got about maybe 10 seconds before the next one comes up. And then you can see there, find, deliver, and bind, and spell. So basically, pro tip is if you look at your map in the right-hand corner, the top right, it's going to have that yellow X. That's where the book is. So basically, you can go into the room, find the scroll, run back out, and then basically, if you don't see the yellow X, that might just be that it's not not in position on your map. So what we can do is just pull up your map. I think I do pull it up here once to see what direction it is to take and kind of find the X. So that's, so you can just pull up my map to see where the X was. And then basically you just run down there. There's a few eyes floating around. There's different ways you can take eyes, as you can see. It's basically like a maze. You can walk around. You just have to watch that you don't get near the eye or it will kill you. So basically it's just waiting for the timing, and then while you're doing this, all the group is doing is killing ads, basically. You cannot kill Dr. Fate until these antenna scrolls are done. He'll take absolutely 0 damage. Doesn't matter if you have 3 scrolls in. The fight can't end until a runner does this. So the issue is that if you die in here to one of these eyes, you're pretty much out. No one's going to be able to, recognize where you are fast enough to run in here and try to get the res. So it's got to be on the player enough that you're not going to intentionally walk into one of these eyes and die, because then you're going to be out right away. No one's going to be right here. No one's going to be able to res you. So just be mindful of it. So don't just race down, look where the eye is, look where the scroll is, and kind of get an idea. So you just don't accidentally turn a corner because you're not paying attention and walk into an eye. So I can see there, ran all the scrolls. It says Dr. Fate is vulnerable. I can go into the other Dr. Fate mechanics here. Basically, like I said, is teleport. It does a lot of damage in Elite. Doesn't do too much damage in Regular, but it is still possible to damage you. I've taken a lot of damage to this one with a solo heal. It could have just been the solo heal was bad. I'm not sure, but just be mindful that you can take damage on the teleport. The other damage comes from these obelisks. As you can see, you get a little bit of a dot when they arc between them with electricity, as well as Dr. Fate will summon his fields. It's essentially the same field as his legends or his main magical field. So basically, when you're standing in that, you also take a damage tick. That's much greater in Elite compared to what it is in Regular. But other than that, he really doesn't do too much. In Elite, you can't melee because Dr. Fate will do the Hand Blaster Fist Slam. That's pretty much a one-shot. I've already tried in Elite. I don't know if he even does it in Regular. If he does, I didn't notice because I wasn't really in danger of dying. Well, ironically, I was in danger of dying right there, but that's because Dr. Fate was attacking me because the tank lost aggro. So basically, it is possible to die in Regular here if you want to go completely reckless. And the other thing, too, being like a melee DPS, and if you're chasing him around, he's going to teleport. He can teleport all over the place. So really, it's you certainly can melee, but it's semi-annoying because you got to follow him everywhere. So it's certainly a melee fight, but not always the case where you can like you can see here, he's teleporting all the way around. I've got to chase him other outrage. The group could be attacking the ads on the other side. But that's about it. Oh, and then towards the end of the fight, it'll say you can revive an ally. I'm pretty sure we revived John Constantine, as you can see there. He summons that Earth Golem. Basically, it's a pet on your side to help fight Dr. Fate and kind of tank stuff for you. I'm not sure what the other allies do. Also, I'm sure there's a feat for not choosing a rallying an ally. But I think they're just NPCs just to help you during the fight. In Regular, you certainly don't need it. I don't even know if in Elite we tried to rally one. I think we might have rallied John Constantine just for that pet, but it's not like it makes or break the fight at all. It may help it, but it's not like, oh, you have to have this ally to be able to beat the fight or be able to do well in the fight or survive or anything like that. It's just not the case. It's just something little to help you out. Same concept as the Batmans from Paradox Wave. Yes, they helped you depending on which one you had, but it's not like you had to have them to clear the content or anything like that. They're just something extra on top that you could use. But that's pretty much the Subjugated Dr. Fate fight here. We'll pick it up at the last boss here in Limbo Town. Also, I have no idea what those feats are. I'm sure they're just straightforward ones.
to Limbo Town. That pillock Clarion grew up in, so that should give you an idea of the culture. It's pretty much what you'd expect from a hidden underground town.
Okay, so the only thing I'll mention over that previous Limbo Town section was the globe, or the globes they're talking about are these purple ones right here. You just go to different sides of the map, kill the ads, and then destroy that purple orb. And then once you do 5 of them, you can start the boss fight. So you can technically skip sections, or people can jump ahead and just kind of kill them with the ads being there and then run away. But that's what those globes look like, and they're in different sections of the town. So basically this fight here in regular is really straightforward. In the elite you have Tickle to kind of add another mechanic to it. That's what kind of forces 2 tanks, because Tickle will come out and basically pin down the tank permanently until you separate them or kill Tickle if they're close to Clarion. So that's why you got to separate Clarion from Tickle. But in regular that's not there. So it's just really straightforward. I don't really know if there's any danger in regular in this. Clarion is one-handed. He'll do a kind of a pulse that you have to interrupt. He'll do flip slash. He'll do flurry. That's pretty much only his damage. Faust is just like Fate, where he teleports around, does Handblaster's Fist Slam. But besides that, I don't think there's any damage. Mordrew doesn't attack at all. There's Croatian ads that spawn on the edges that basically just turn the cog on to turn them back to normal people, where they don't have much health at all. I think there's some feats too for not allowing any of the Croatians to attack you or something. I know there's a feat involved in the Croatians at all, but essentially this is just like 2 bosses, a bunch of ads. As you can see, you can melee the entire time. I believe they are adjusting the difficulty in Elite, because in Elite I was also able to melee the entire time. I'm sure that'll change, because we can't really have that, because they did make some changes to this last boss fight that just haven't made it through. But yeah, in regular it's just a really straightforward fight. You burn, I don't think there's a really difference of what you burn first. In Elite you have to burn Tickle, then you burn Faust, then you burn Clarion last. In regular I don't think there's a difference, because they don't really they don't, like, these bosses don't feed off each other. It's not like you have to, like, it's not like the Atlantis bosses like Aquamancer or Coral, like they're going to heal the other ones or anything like that. There's no kind of synergy with that aspect. It's just the kind of, they kind of have their own mechanics. So we always just killed Faust first, Tico first, Faust, and then Clarion and Elite, and then in regular it's just whichever died first. Clarion will easily die first because he doesn't teleport around, where Faust is going to teleport out of your damage, and then obviously the tank DPS is going to be where the tank are with all the ads. But as you can see, super quick fight, and this is the Fellowship of the Arcane. This is the first raid, which basically is taking elements from the War-Torn Village and turned it into Limbo Town. But take care, guys, and my next video is going to have all the miscellaneous stuff. So augments, skill points, all that kind of discussion, max CR, all that kind of stuff, R&D. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Not a kid! You want Mordru? Fine! He's going to Gotham to take control of the beast from beyond. I thought it'd be funny to watch all the chaos, but Mordru and Faust ruined it. Let me help Limbo Town recover, and I swear I won't get in your